Alright guys, so I am right now in some sort of predicament. I was told by high authorities, if I do not do episode number 2 of Heel Goes Retro, then I will no longer be allowed to live in the United States of America. Fuck my life right now. So, to avoid all troubles and shit like that, let me get through this review so I don't get deported. Hey guys, what is up? It is I, your boy Heel, back at it again with a new video. This will be episode number 2 of Heel Goes Retro. As you guys may know by now, as we are heading into SummerSlam 2017, the 30th anniversary of SummerSlam, I will be once a week recapping a SummerSlam from yesteryear. And last week for episode number 1, I reviewed SummerSlam 88, the inaugural SummerSlam. And for this week, I decided I am recapping a SummerSlam, in my opinion, that doesn't get nearly enough credit. A SummerSlam that doesn't get nearly talked about by a lot of people out there. A very underrated SummerSlam in my honest opinion. That being SummerSlam 1997, Hart and Soul, that took place on August the 3rd, 1997 from the then Continental Airlines Arena in New Jersey, my hometown, which then became the Izod Center, which, fun fact, that arena doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, funny little fact there. But before I get into all the fun stuff that was SummerSlam 1997, let me talk to you guys about some interesting facts that happened in the year 1997. So in 1997, the Chicago Bulls beat the Utah Jazz 4-2 to win the 1997 NBA Championship. The Florida Marlins beat the Cleveland Indians 4-3 to win the 1997 World Series. The Green Bay Packers beat the New England Patriots 31-25 to win Super Bowl 31. Somewhere out there, Red Foreman must have been really happy with that. The Detroit Red Wings beat the Philadelphia Flyers 4-0, a complete sweep to win the Stanley Cup in 1997. On November 9th, 1997, we had the infamous Montreal Screwjob that took place at Survivor Series of that year, as Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels took place in the main event. As you all know, at the time, Bret Hart was on his way out of WWE, but he was currently the WWE champion at that time, but he did not want to drop the belt in Montreal, being that he was from Canada. So Vince McMahon and Shawn Michaels and Triple H, behind Bret Hart's back, did a master plan to screw Bret Hart, which is why people now say Vince screwed Bret or Shawn screwed Bret, or sometimes you'll hear Bret screwed Bret. Which, from all of this, we saw the debut of the character Mr. McMahon. Princess Diana passed away on August 31st, 1997 from her injury that she sustained in her car crash that took place in Pont de l'Alma in a road tunnel in Paris, France. The Notorious B.I.G. hip-hop legend died on March 9th, 1997 in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles by an unknown assailant. And the most popular sneaker of 1997 was the Jordan 12, the playoffs. Now keep this in mind, I am someone who is a fan of the Jordan 12s as well, but my favorites are the flu games. But that's around the point. Now let's get into SummerSlam 97. I will say this, again, a SummerSlam that doesn't get nearly enough credit, a very underrated SummerSlam, a SummerSlam that had a good, solid opener, a solid, good mid-card, and then a kick-ass main event. Before the show even took place, they played a video package hyping up the event. You had Todd Pettengill, I believe, doing the voiceover, hyping up the whole show, which I like, by the way. Nowadays, you don't see it. Like, they'll just throw some random shit out there to get you, I guess, some sort of way excited for the pay-per-view, or make you even more bored for the show. But back in the day, Todd Pettengill with the voiceovers and that music background was awesome. The show kicked off with Triple H versus Mankind in a steel cage match. Watching this match, it made me miss the old school blue steel cage. Like, now we get the whole metal fence, but I guarantee you, people back in 97, I'm assuming, were also bored as fuck. They're probably saying, God damn, can you please get a new steel cage? We're tired of seeing the fucking same blue generic cage every single fucking time. WCW, for their fucking credit, has a fucking fence as a cage that's more threatening than this shit. But for a nostalgia purpose, I do miss the old school blue steel cage. The match, for what it was a kick-ass way to kick off the show. People were excited for this match. People were amped up for the event. And this is how you kick off the show. Unlike SummerSlam 88, where they kicked off with the British Bulldog versus the Fabulous Rougeaus, that ended in a no contest. Story here, Mankind was trying to escape the cage, and every single time he tried to escape, China got involved. Whether it be China choking out Mankind from the outside to the inside, or meeting him halfway to prevent him from escaping the cage, or if not, when China slammed the door onto Mankind's face, and even attacking a referee. Despite all that, Mankind found a way, even when he attacked Triple H and catapulted Triple H into China, and he was about to win, like he climbed the top of the cage, went over, he was climbing back down, and all he really was like 1 feet away from winning the whole match. But he climbed back up, took off his mask, into the diving elbow from the top of the cage, his Jimmy Superfly Snuka moment, if you will. And then after that, he went up to climb the cage right back up as China was dragging Triple H to the door, like a race, if you will. But Mankind still found a way to win. But again, a good way to kick off the show, to get people excited. After all this, we saw a little bit of dude love. And then we had Brian Pillman versus Goldust, where if Brian Pillman were to lose, he would have to wear a dress the following night on Monday Night Raw, and so on and so forth. The match was okay for what it was, but Jerry Lawler here with the savage comment. He talked about how if Marlena would have ever put a hand on him, keep this in mind, he would not put a hand on his mother or any other woman, but if Marlena, who was Goldust's wife, aka Terry Reynolds, were to put a hand on Jerry Lawler would smack her back. Keep this in mind, this was back in the day. Can you imagine if Tom Phillips or Byron Saxton or Corey Graves today on commentary were to say, oh, they will hit a woman? Oh my god, because we're in a PC world now and shit? Oh my god, how dare they say that? Oh my god, they would get fired, they get suspended. You kind of get the idea, okay? But the match, for what it was an okay match. It didn't really go along. The crowd was kind of dead for this. And Marlena helped Goldust get the win as she smacked Pillman with the purse, and then Goldust just pinned Brian Pillman for the 1-2-3. We had the Godwin versus LOD, the Legion of Dooms, which I thought for a tag team match, it was a very solid match. The story here was one of the Godwins had their necks broken by LOD, the Legion of Doom, and as a payback, one of the Godwins grabbed Hawk and they attacked him on the entrance area, I think following all of this, and Hawk started bleeding from the back of his head. But this match as a whole, in my honest opinion, was a solid match for what it was. Both teams got their offense in, but it was all said and done, the Legion of Doom got the win. Oh, what a rush. And then we had the British Bulldog versus Ken Shamrock for the European Championship, where if Bulldog were to lose, he'd have to eat a can of dog food. They had a dog food literally right next to the announce table. The match ended in disqualification when Shamrock snapped because the British Bulldog on the outside of the ring grabbed a handful of dog food and threw it at Shamrock, and this caused Shamrock to snap and attack Bulldog full force, grab the can of dog food and hit him in the head with it, and then throw him back into the ring and apply the ankle lock. It did not let go for nothing, and people were just, going crazy about this. They had the bell ringing like crazy. Vince McMahon, Jim Ross, and Jerry Lawler were disappointed in Shamrock, what have you. But again, the match for what it was just there just to, I guess, show you how much of a monster Shamrock could be once he snapped. And you would think, but all of this, that they would even make Shamrock a WWE champion in the long run, but no, it never really came about. And then we had an 8-man warfare. Los Boricuas, which was ran by Savio Vega, went up against the DOA, the Disciples of Apocalypse, who was ran by Crush, which I will say this, a match that had no business on pay-per-view was a giant clusterfuck. But even if that, this match had a story behind it. Here are two guys in Savio Vega and Crush that were at one time part of the Nation of Domination, and they were thrown out of the group by Farouk. So what do they both do? They each form a group and they go at it. The main enemy being the Nation of Domination. I guess the cool thing about this match, the DOA came out with Harleys to the outside of the ring, and then the Nation of Domination came out and they were outside the ring, and a giant mayhem brawl happened. And out of nowhere, Los Boricos got the win. But that pinfall win, that was whatever. And then we had Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Owen Hart for the Intercontinental Championship. The match had a very, very slow start, and then it picked up. The crowd was getting into this. They were excited. Stone Cold Steve Austin, when you think about it, was on the rise. He was supposed to be the next big thing at this time period. And Owen Hart here, the story was, Owen got a pinfall win over Steve Austin at Canadian Stampede, that In Your House show that took place in Canada back in the day. And he pinned him. And because of that, he's like, oh, I pinned Stone Cold Steve Austin. I beat Stone Cold Steve Austin. I beat Stone Cold Steve Austin. I beat Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was saying that every single time on commentary or in promos, what have you. Just imagine he's saying, I ate a sandwich for lunch. I ate a sandwich for lunch. Hey, guess what? I ate a sandwich for lunch. Hey, guess what? I ate a sandwich for lunch. It would get annoying, right? But again, the match, it picked up. And then unfortunately, Owen Hart did like a tombstone on Steve Austin and broke his neck. And you can just tell this match was supposed to be even better, but it never really came about because of what happened. And then Steve Austin, I guess, did like a schoolboy pin, if you can even call it that, on Owen Hart to take it home quick. But again, you could tell at this time period, Steve Austin was on the rise. And then we had the main event of the evening, Bret Hart versus The Undertaker for the WWE title, with Shawn Michaels as the referee. The stipulation here being, if Bret Hart did not win the championship, he can no longer wrestle in the US. And if Shawn Michaels didn't call it down the middle, then he could no longer be in the US as well. And this match, I gotta say, was a kick-ass match. Back and forth, Undertaker, Bret the Hitman Hart. Just to show you what these guys could do out there in the ring. Paul Bearer came out at the time period. There was this whole thing with Kane. Kane is still alive. You didn't kill Kane, Undertaker. And then Taker took out Paul Bearer. And then the Hart Foundation, Owen Hart, and I believe Pillman came out to distract the Undertaker, but Shawn Michaels kicked them both out. And to be fair here in this match, Michaels did call it down the middle. And then near the end, when Bret Hart grabbed the chair, Michaels saw the chair, and he's like, Bret, why you bring the chair to the ring? And then Bret spit in Michaels' face, told him to fuck off. And then Michaels snapped and got mad and tried to hit Bret Hart with the chair, but instead hit the Undertaker for the 1, 2, 3. And that stemmed the feud between Taker and Shawn Michaels, which led to the Hell in a Cell match at In Your House Bad Blood back in '97, which then we saw the debut of the Monster Kane. And then Bret Hart from there was the anti-American WWE champion. At the end of all this, people were throwing trash in the ring as Bret Hart was celebrating with the win, with the championship. And before the match took place, Bret Hart requested they play the Canadian national anthem. But overall, again, SummerSlam '97 doesn't get nearly enough credit in my opinion. A very underrated SummerSlam. Well guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Drop your comments down below with your thoughts.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Look, Mr. Heel Steven, sir, as happy as we are that you reviewed WWF SummerSlam 1997, and damn, what a good SummerSlam it was. Sir, I must inform you that you must leave the United States of America immediately.
Okay, but I was told if I were to do this video, then I would be able to stay in the United States of America.
Rules are rules. You do not fuck with the United States government. Back to Guatemala you go.
Yeah, but I'm Peruvian.
Yeah. It's the same old shit we get every single time.
Well then, I guess it's true. Immigration does do some stupid shit, like sending you back to the wrong country. Fuck my life. Hey guys, I hope you all enjoyed that little skit. Check out my boy Thrash Maniac 99. Links to his channel down below in the description box. And I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Drop your comment down below your thoughts on SummerSlam '97 if you watched it or not. What's the next SummerSlam you want me to review? And all that fun stuff. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. Make sure to like all my videos. And as always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, it's your boy Heel and I'm out.